Have you ever studied English for months, maybe years, and still felt frozen when it was time to speak? You watch videos, you listen to podcasts, you read the subtitles, you understand almost everything. But the moment someone asks you a question in English, your mouth stops. Your brain goes blank. And you smile and say, sorry, I don't know. That is not a knowledge problem. That is a mouth problem. And today, we are going to fix it. This lesson is for English learners who are done just listening and ready to speak. By the end of this video, you will understand why your mouth freezes, what is actually happening inside your brain. And you will have 7 daily drills that will train your mouth to speak English the way your mind already knows it. If that sounds like what you need right now, subscribe. Because there is a lot more where this comes from. Your brain knows English, your mouth needs to catch up. Let's begin. First, you must accept a hard truth. Understanding is not a speaking. Here is something nobody tells you when you begin studying English. Listening and speaking are not the same skill. They use different parts of your brain. They need different kinds of training. And getting very good at one does not automatically make you good at the other. Think about this. You can recognize a song the moment it starts. But can you sing it perfectly without the music? Probably not. You know the song, yet your mouth has never learned to produce that song. That is exactly what happens with English. You hear, could you help me with this? And your brain understands it in 1 second. But when you need to say it yourself, your mouth slows down, the words scatter, and you say nothing. Your brain received that phrase, but your mouth has never practiced producing it. Stay with me. This is important. When you listen to English, your brain is in receive mode. It takes in sounds, matches them to meanings, and you understand. That process is called comprehension. You're very good at it. Years of listening made you good at it. But speaking is different. Speaking is produce mode. Your brain has to find the words, build the sentence, control your breathing, move your tongue, open your mouth, and push out a sound. All of that at the same time. In less than 2 seconds. That is not a thinking skill. That is a physical skill, and you have not trained your body to do it. Think about a new driver. The first time they sit in a car, they know the rules. They studied them. They can answer test questions about traffic signs. But when they sit in the driver's seat, their hands shake, they forget which pedal is which, and parking feels impossible. Knowledge is not a skill. Skill comes from doing. Speaking English is the same. You know English, the mouth, though, has not done it enough times to make it feel natural. Here's the hard truth. Most people never fix this problem because they keep doing the same thing. They think, I just need to know more words, so they study more vocabulary. They think, I need to understand more grammar, so they study more grammar. And they get smarter about English. But they never get faster at speaking it. A passive learner consumes. An active speaker produces. The speaker is not always the student who knows the most. The speaker is the student who has practiced the output, the student who has trained their mouth, not just their brain. This lesson is about becoming that speaker. If you're serious about changing the way your mouth works in English, you need to understand 7 things, 7 drills, and then you need to do them. every day, not perfectly, just consistently. The understanding is there. The output just needs training. Let's start with the first two drills. Before we get to the drills, remember this: your mouth is a muscle. Train it like one. Here's a question nobody asks in English class. When you go to the gym to build your arms, do you watch videos of people lifting weights? No, you pick up the weight, you lift it, you put it down, and you do it again and again until your arms grow. Your mouth works the same way. Speaking English is a physical act. Your tongue, your lips, your jaw, your throat, they all have to move in specific patterns to produce English sounds. And those patterns are not natural for someone who grew up speaking Vietnamese or Spanish or Chinese or Arabic. When you were a baby, your mouth trained itself in your first language. It made the sounds of your mother tongue thousands and thousands of times. Those sounds became automatic. You don't think about them now. Your mouth just does them. English sounds are different, and your mouth has not trained them yet. Think about the word comfortable. In English, it's 4 syllables, but native speakers say it fast, comfortable, 3 syllables. The mouth compresses it. If you have not trained your mouth to compress that word, you will pause every time you say it. That pause is not because your brain doesn't know the word. The brain knows that word perfectly well. The pause is because your mouth hasn't done it enough times to make it automatic. Here is what most people miss. Language lives in the body, not just the mind. Actors know this. Singers know this. Athletes know this. The best performance comes when the body doesn't have to think. When the movement is so trained, so repeated, so internalized that it just flows, that is what fluency feels like. Not, I know all the words, but my mouth moves without me thinking about it, and the only way to get there is to train. Not read about training, train. A weak mindset says, I'll speak when I'm ready. A strong mindset says, I get ready by speaking. There is no comfortable moment to start speaking. There is no day when you wake up and suddenly feel ready. Readiness doesn't come first. Action comes first, and readiness follows. Now let's look at the drills. Drill 1, shadowing. Shadowing is simple. You listen to someone speak English and you copy them. Not after they finish, while they are speaking. At the same time, you follow the voice like a shadow follows a person. Why does this work? Because shadowing trains 3 things at once. It trains your ear to hear the rhythm of natural English. It trains your brain to process sounds at native speed. And it trains your mouth to produce those same sounds in that same rhythm. You're not just listening, you're speaking simultaneously. Here is how to do it. Find a short audio clip or video in English between 30 seconds and 1 minute. Natural spoken English, not too fast, not too slow. Listen to it once without doing anything. Just listen. Get the meaning, then play it again. This time, speak along. Copy the voice as closely as you can. The speed, the stress, the pauses, the intonation. Follow it exactly. Don't worry about perfect pronunciation. Don't stop to fix mistakes. Just stay with the voice. Do this 10 to 15 minutes every morning. That's it. It feels strange at first. You'll fall behind. You'll miss words. You'll stumble. That is normal. That is training. The strangeness means your mouth is doing something new, and new things repeated enough times become normal. Bruce Lee said it clearly. He said he was not afraid of the person who had practiced 10,000 different kicks one time. He was afraid of the person who had practiced one kick 10,000 times. Shadowing is your kick. Do it 10,000 times. After 3 weeks of consistent shadowing, something shifts. You start to feel the rhythm of English in your body, not just in your head. Your mouth begins to anticipate sounds. Your pauses get shorter. Sentences start to flow. That's muscle memory beginning to form. Drill 2, sentence chunking. Most learners study English word by word. They learn take, then care, then of, then yourself. 4 separate words stored in 4 separate places in their brain. When they want to say, take care of yourself, their brain has to find all 4 words, line them up in order, and send them to the mouth. That process takes time, and in real conversation, you don't have time. Fluent speakers don't process word by word. They process chunk by chunk. A chunk is a group of words that the brain stores and retrieves together like one unit. Take care of yourself. I was wondering if it depends on, to be honest with you, I'm not sure about that, but when these are so stored as chunks, not as separate words, the brain finds them fast and the mouth says them fast. The way to train this is straightforward. Every day, pick 3 chunks from things you read, watch, or hear. 3 phrases that feel natural and useful. Write them down. Then say them out loud, not once, 10 times, quickly, until your mouth can say the chunk without thinking about the individual words. For example, I was wondering if, say it fast 10 times. I was wondering if, your mouth learns the shape of the phrase. Next time you need it, it comes out whole. No searching, no assembling. A weak learner memorizes words. A strong speaker memorizes chunks. The difference isn't how much they know. It's how their brain has organized what they know. Chunks are faster. Chunks are more natural. Chunks are how fluent speakers actually think when they talk. Take 3 chunks a day, say them 10 times each. That's your second drill. Your knowledge is real. What your mouth does with it is the work. Drill 3, self-talk in English. Immersion doesn't start in another country. It starts inside your head. Let me ask you something. How many hours a day do you spend thinking all day, right? You think when you wake up? You think while you eat? You think when you're stuck in traffic, when you're cooking dinner, when you're waiting in line? Your brain never really stops. Now, what language do you think in? For most people reading this, the answer is your first language, always. Automatically, you think in Vietnamese or Tagalog or Hindi or whatever your mother tongue is. Here's the problem. Every time you want to speak English, your brain is working in a different language. It has to stop, translate, convert, then produce. That translation step is what creates the delay. That delay is what makes you feel slow and unsure. The goal of this drill is to shrink that gap. Drill 3 is self-talk. You talk to yourself in English, outside of any class, outside of any lesson, all day, while you live your life. When you wake up in the morning, speak it or run it quietly inside your head. I'm tired. I need coffee. It's cold in here. When you're cooking, narrate it. I'm cutting the onion. It smells strong. I don't like this part. When you're walking outside, describe what you see. There are a lot of cars today. The sky is gray. I think it might rain. This sounds simple, and it is, but don't underestimate it. When you talk to yourself in English consistently, something starts to change. Your brain begins to default to English for small, everyday thoughts. And once your brain is running in English even a little bit, speaking becomes faster. The translation step shrinks, then it almost disappears. Pause for 1 second. Think about what that means. You don't have to move to another country to get that feeling. You don't have to find a native speaker every day. You just have to use the mind you already have and redirect it. There was a man named Daniel. He was 35 years old. He worked as an engineer. He had studied English for 7 years in school and had never felt confident speaking it. He understood everything at work. But in meetings with international colleagues, he went quiet. He started this drill. Every morning for 30 days, he described his commute in English, out loud in the car, just that. Simple sentences about the road, the weather, the traffic. Within 3 weeks, he noticed he was starting to form work thoughts in English before he even sat down in the meeting. By the end of the month, he spoke up in a team call without preparing. The words came, not perfectly, but they came. That is what self-talk does over time. It rewires the defaults. Now, here is what most people do wrong with this drill. They try to be perfect. They think of something to say, notice they don't know one word, and give up. They say it in their own language instead. Don't do that. If you don't know the word, use a different word. Say something simpler. Keep it in English. The point is not to be correct. The point is to keep your brain working in English mode. Imperfect English spoken out loud beats perfect English kept silent. Drill 4. Record and replay. Your voice sounds different inside your head than it does to other people. This is because when you speak, you hear yourself through a combination of air and bone vibration. Other people only hear the air, so the voice you hear when you speak feels fuller, lower, more familiar than the voice on a recording. This difference is important for language learning. When you speak English and you hear yourself from inside your head, your brain fills in the gaps. It hears what you intended to say, not always what you actually said. You might say, he go to school, and your brain, which knows the grammar, automatically corrects it as you hear it. You don't catch the mistake because your brain already fixed it silently. A recording doesn't fill in the gaps. A recording plays back exactly what came out of your mouth. No corrections. No assumptions. This is why drill 4 is powerful and also why many people avoid it. Record yourself speaking English for 1 to 2 minutes. Use your phone. Pick any topic. Describe your day. Talk about a TV show. Explain how to make your favorite food. Anything. Just talk for 1 to 2 minutes. Then listen back. You will notice things. A word you thought you said clearly sounds different. A phrase you thought was natural sounds hesitant. A sentence you thought was correct has a mistake you can hear now that you couldn't catch before. That gap between what you thought you said and what you actually said is where the learning happens. The silent student is afraid to hear his own voice. The speaker listens back and gets better. Recording every single day is not required. 3 to 4 times a week is enough. Over time, the gap between your intended English and your actual English will shrink. And your confidence will grow because you will start to recognize that your spoken English is getting cleaner. That gap closes every time you listen back honestly. Keep going. 2 more drills coming now. Drill 5, the 30-second rule. Most people learn a new word and do nothing with it for days. They see it in a video. They write it in a notebook. Maybe they look it up, and then they close the notebook and move on. 3 days later, the word is gone. A week later, they have no memory of it at all. This is not a memory problem. This is a timing problem. Your brain stores information based on use. If you use something immediately after learning it, your brain sends a signal. This matters. Keep it. If you don't use it, your brain sends a different signal. This was a passing thing. Let it go. The 30-second rule is simple. Every time you learn a new word or phrase, you have 30 seconds to speak it in a sentence. Your own sentence about your own life, not an example from a textbook. Something real. You just learned the word frustrated. You have 30 seconds, open your mouth and say it. I feel frustrated when I can't find my keys in the morning. My boss made me frustrated yesterday because he changed the plan at the last minute. I used to feel frustrated every time I tried to speak English. Now I have a plan. That's it. 1 sentence, out loud, in 30 seconds. What this does is remarkable. It forces your brain to connect the new word to a real experience, not to a definition, not to a translation in your first language, to an actual moment in your life that has emotion memory and meaning attached to it. That kind of connection is far stronger than a flashcard. And because you said it out loud, your mouth practiced it too. Not just your brain. There was a student named Hannah. She was 22 years old. She had a habit of writing down new words in a small notebook and reviewing them later. Her notebook was full, but she kept forgetting words anyway. She switched to the 30-second rule. No more notebook. Every new word, go at 1 sentence spoken immediately. Within 2 weeks, she noticed she was using words in conversation that she had only learned days before. Not because she reviewed them, because she used them the moment she learned them. Your brain remembers what your mouth has said. Give your mouth a chance to say it first. James Clear, who wrote Atomic Habits, makes this point clearly. Habits are built through repetition, not intention. You don't build a speaking habit by planning to speak. You build it by speaking. Immediately, consistently, even when the sentence is simple and small. 3 new words or phrases a day, 30 seconds each. That is the drill. Drill 6, slow, then fast. Watch a professional pianist learning a difficult passage of music. They don't start at full speed. They sit down, find the right notes, and play the passage extremely slowly. Every note clear and separate. Their fingers move deliberately. They are not performing, they are programming. After enough slow repetitions, they gradually increase the speed, a little faster. Then faster again, until eventually the fingers move at full performance speed. And because the movement was trained slowly first, it is accurate at high speed. Language works the same way. When there is a sentence or phrase that gives your mouth trouble, the worst thing you can do is rush it. Rushing while making mistakes just trains your mouth to make those same mistakes faster. Instead, think about a common English sentence like asking for directions. Instead of rushing through it and the stumbling, train your mouth to separate every sound. Could you tell me where the nearest station is? Give every syllable a space, then and only then you pick up the pace. That progression is the drill. Choose 5 sentences that are difficult for your mouth. Sentences with sounds that your first language doesn't have. Sentences with rhythms that feel unnatural. Sentences you want to use but always stumble over. Do the slow, fast method with all 5. Every day, Kobe Bryant arrived at practice before anyone else. He took 800 shots before his teammates woke up, not because he didn't know how to shoot, because he knew that muscle memory doesn't come from talent. It comes from repetition, done correctly over and over until the body no longer needs to think. Your mouth is building muscle memory too. Train it slowly, then fast, then faster. Most people practice until they get it right. The best practice until they can't get it wrong. That is the whole point of these drills. Train the mouth, let the mind lead. Now we come to the most important drill of all, drill 7. Speak before you are ready. I want to be direct with you now. Everything in this lesson, every drill, every concept, every example, it only works if you do one thing. You have to open your mouth and speak before you feel ready, not after you feel ready, before. Because here is the truth that most learners spend years trying to avoid. You will never feel ready. The feeling of readiness does not come before speaking. It comes after. It is a result of speaking, not a condition for it. Every person who speaks English confidently today went through a period of speaking it badly, nervously, incorrectly, embarrassingly. They did not wait for confidence to arrive. They spoke, and confidence followed. A weak mindset says, I'll speak when I'm ready. A strong mindset says, I get ready by speaking. I want you to think about David Goggins for a moment. He is not known for being comfortable. He is known for doing the hardest thing available to him at any given moment, especially when he doesn't want to. He built mental toughness not by thinking about it, but by walking directly into the uncomfortable thing and refusing to stop. Your version of that is opening your mouth. Not in a comfortable situation, not with your closest friend who already knows your English level, not in a private practice session that doesn't count. In real moments, when the stakes feel real, when you are afraid your accent will be noticed, when you're not sure if the sentence is correct, when you'd rather smile and stay quiet because that feels safer, speak anyway, your accent is not your enemy. Your silence is. Nobody has ever improved their speaking by staying silent. Not once, not anywhere. Every person who became fluent in English as a second language did it by speaking when they were afraid, by saying the wrong word and correcting it, by mispronouncing something and laughing and then saying it correctly, by sitting inside the discomfort of imperfection until the discomfort became smaller. The discomfort doesn't disappear on its own. You have to walk through it repeatedly until you stand on the other side. Here is how to make drill 7 part of your daily life. Every day find one moment to speak English when it would be easier not to. Talk to a colleague in English even though your shared language is available. Order something in English. Respond to a comment online in English with a voice message instead of text. Start a conversation with someone who is on the same journey as you. One moment. Every day. That's enough. Not because one moment changes everything immediately, but because one moment repeated 365 times becomes a person who speaks without thinking about whether they are ready. Your brain knows English. Your mouth needs to catch up, but your mouth will catch up. Only if you make it speak. Now let's bring everything together. You came into this lesson with one problem. Your mouth freezes when it's time to speak English. Now you know why, and now you have 7 ways to fix it. Drill 1, shadowing. Copy a real English voice while it speaks. Train your mouth to follow natural rhythm and speed. 10 to 15 minutes every morning. Drill 2, sentence chunking. Stop memorizing words one by one. Learn phrases as single units. 3 chunks a day said 10 times each. Drill 3, self-talk. Move your brain into English mode throughout the day. Narrate your life in English. In the kitchen, in the car, in your head. Keep going even when the sentences are simple. Drill 4, record and replay. Hear what your mouth actually produces, not what you think it produces. Record yourself 2 to 3 times a week and listen back honestly. Drill 5, the 30-second rule. Every new word goes into a spoken sentence within 30 seconds of learning it. Your own sentence. About something real in your life. Drill 6, slow then fast. Find 5 sentences that challenge your mouth. Say them slowly then gradually faster until they run at natural speed without effort. Drill 7, speak before you're ready. Find one real moment every day to speak English when you could have stayed quiet. Build the habit of action over the habit of waiting. 7 drills. All of them available to you right now. All of them free. All of them waiting for your mouth to begin. You don't need more vocabulary before you start. You don't need better grammar before you start. No app, no textbook, no new teacher is required. You need to start. The person who will speak English confidently 6 months from now is not someone with more talent than you. It is the version of you that begins these drills today and does not stop. Which drill are you starting today? Write it in the comments below. One drill. Tell me. I want to know. Because that comment, that one small act of committing out loud to one drill, that is already drill 7 in action. You are speaking before you feel ready, and that is exactly how this works. Keep listening, keep drilling, and your English will speak for itself. If this lesson gave you something, subscribe. There is a lot more ahead. I will see you in the next lesson.